Yeah, I don't know if I would want to live in Europe right now. I think the Europeans must be really afraid of their future. This war in the Ukraine and this scenario with Russia, I'm a bit worried that Putin is being pushed too much into the corner and he might react with some nuclear action or whatever it may be. You have to really think about your own safety and your own ability to escape. And the escaping is the question I want to talk about. Where would you escape if you had to leave Europe? There's a lot of places in the world where the country isn't important. Ecuador is one of those countries. It's not a world power. It's not on anyone's radar. It's falling off the map here. And it's such a small country that nobody really takes notice of it. Yeah, it's actually very funny how these third world countries are now becoming popular. They're an option for people to immigrate to. And why is that? I think it comes from that idea of not being satisfied in your own country. Things getting so expensive. You go to the grocery store and you're spending $200 on 2 bags of groceries. You're filling up your vehicle and it's outrageously expensive. So when third world countries become an option, you have to really analyze them. And this analysis is based on, can you handle the imperfections? Can you handle living in a place like that where you are shaking your head more often than not? You're not understanding these cultural differences. You're not understanding how you as a European or an American or a Canadian is supposed to behave. So it's a learning curve. If you are a person that is not tolerant, this will not be the place for you to live. You have to show some tolerance, some compassion, understanding of the differences. So if you're going to come to a third world country and this third world country is becoming interesting to you, do your research. Really figure out, can you survive this? Can you get through all these oddities that happen all the time? It is a very different way of living, but it can be a very interesting way of living and a very interesting challenge. But your money goes really far here. You can do a lot of things. You can build without the building department after you too much. You can do all these things and you have this a little bit more freedom. Sure, there's lots of problems here. There's lots of things that you will not like as a European. But at a minimum, it might be a temporary place to hide out. It might be a place where you can feel safe from the rest of the world. It is geographically sort of in a place where no one really is going to pay attention to it. So if you're in Europe right now, you know, maybe a change is required. If you don't have a lot of money, maybe this is a great place to hang out for a while until things settle down in Europe. I can imagine the Europeans having so much tension right now, so much stress. I think if I could afford it, I think I would escape Europe and try to pick a place where I can, you know, start over again, or at least try my luck at a new country. Ecuador is very interesting because you can get into the country quite easily. Doesn't take a lot of money. The immigration process isn't so hard. So if you're going to consider a country, maybe Ecuador is the right place because it has these attributes of being non-European, not so strict, not many regulations. The climate is incredibly good. Unfortunately, we have US dollars, so it's going to be, you know, the exchange rate's not going to be so great for the euro. It'll be okay. So maybe Ecuador is a place to consider for a temporary escape from Europe where you can get away for a while. It could also be a permanent home. It could be a place where you bring technology from Europe with you, knowledge from Europe with you, where you can start a business here with almost no competition. Ecuador has absolutely no manufacturing, like very, very little manufacturing. Especially in the province of Loja, we could use manufacturing facilities. Massive labor force, no problems with the population. There's so many kids here. There's going to be a future. It's going to be a very strong country because of all the children that are in this country. So maybe you should consider Ecuador as a stopover, or as a permanent place to reside. Yeah, Ecuador has all kinds of different visa options to get into the country, to stay here, or to visit for 6 months. It's a pretty easy place to get into. If you spend $42,500, I think that's the right amount, in a business, or put it in a bank account, or buy real estate, or start a business here. That gives you the investor visa, which allows you to stay here with a permanent visa. There's other options that are available to retirees and to other people that are students, or there's many options. You need to find the one that fits you the best. The real estate market is getting a little bit crowded. There's not that much available compared to when I came here 3 years ago. Money is king, cash is king. Cash can do a lot here. Manufacturing is missing. If you can come here with a European product and you have a really good understanding of what you want to manufacture, you can do that here quite easily. You can send it back, you can sell it here, but you need to have a very good understanding of what it means to be a manufacturer in a third world country. You will not get by without speaking Spanish. The population here, I think it's 3% of people, somebody told me 3 to 5% speak some form of English here. Sure, you can hire people that speak Spanish and English to help you. That's not a problem. There's enough of them around, lawyers and translators and immigration people. It is in your favor 100% to learn Spanish. When you come here, it will push you ahead so much further if you do speak the language. It's almost impossible to survive here without some basic knowledge of Spanish. The opportunities are here. The weather is quite good. You'll never, freeze again. You'll never, never need to worry about a heating system in your house, and it's quite beneficial that way because you can pick the perfect weather in Ecuador, because you can just go up and down in altitude and you will get the weather you want. If I was European right now, Ecuador would be on my radar. It's an interesting country. Sure, it's going to really bother you a lot with a lot of things that go down here that aren't really of European standard or European customs. You have to get used to the people. There's two types of people here. There's the people that will give you their shirt off their back, and the other type that will battle you because you're a foreigner. So you just pick the right people, surround yourself with the right people, and you can do extremely well, and you can enjoy your life here in Ecuador.